First thing I like to do is get my girl used to the water. I like to make sure the water is warm and comfortable, so I check it often. Even though it's a hot day, the water is still cold when it comes out of the hose, so I have this hose hooked up to the bathtub in our house. That way the water is nice and warm and cozy, which makes this much more pleasant for them. Although she's a really good girl and doesn't mind it, the warm water really makes a difference with my gelding. So if you have a problem with one of your horses doing this, maybe it's because the water's too cold. Since I've been using the warm water, my gelding has accepted this much better. I was also washing her tail this day. Usually when I wash her tail, I wash her girly parts too. So this is just my process. I just start from the feet and the legs and work my way up to the rump before I go underneath to her girly parts. And then I get that area wet too before I use the cleaner. Now that she's all adjusted to the water, I'll use my cleaner. I use Equiderma Sheath and Udder Cleaner. I apply it to my hand and then I reach up and put it on her girly parts and spread it all around, just so everything's covered in the middle on each side, and just rub it all around. I apply a little bit more and just make sure I have a good amount up there, just so it can start to loosen everything so it comes off nice and easy. Some people like to wear gloves. I don't. It doesn't bother me to do this, but if this bothers you, you might want to get a thin pair of gloves to do this. I just like to be able to feel to make sure that I get everything clean, so that's why I don't use gloves. And like I said, my horses are my kids, so this doesn't bother me. A lot of times I use a washcloth too because it makes it easier to get everything loose, but I forgot to bring a clean one out, so I just use my hands this time. And another thing you want to be careful of, my girl is a good girl, but some mares may not like this, so if you aren't sure, be really careful and make sure you stand to the side and stay out of the kicking zone. And if you aren't sure, you might want to try just touching down there before you even start to apply water. And right now what I'm doing, I'm just moving all the cleaner around and just letting the cleaner loosen everything up, and as it loosens, I just try to get off what I can. And this is where a washcloth comes in handy, but like I said, I forgot the washcloth, so I'm just using my fingers, and then after I get everything loose, then I'll use the water to hose everything off. And even though it's not a fun job for some people, it does really help with tail rubbing. So if you notice your horse is rubbing its tail, this could be one of the reasons. There are many reasons for tail rubbing, but this is a big one, because when that stuff gets dry and cakey underneath, it can cause irritation and makes them want to rub. Also their butt areas too, which that will be another video, but you have to keep that clean because when a mare is in season, she sometimes has discharge and stuff like that, and she's an older mare and she has wrinkles around that area too, and she gets crusty stuff in between the wrinkles, and that has to cause irritation too. So it's important to keep all of their girly parts clean and crust free so it doesn't cause irritation and make them want to rub. And it's just going to make them more comfortable all around. So even though this isn't a fun job for most, it is something necessary, especially if you do notice that they do rub their tails. And I think it's more necessary to check and clean your mare's girly parts during the summertime because it's hot and dusty, and they just get that gunky, cakey stuff in between. And my mare's always seems like it's dried and it gets in between. And if they're walking and doing stuff, I can see how that would like rub and cause irritation. So especially during the summertime, just make sure you check your girl's private areas and make sure she's clean and comfortable, especially if you want her to be happy and have a beautiful tail. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.